Auburn hires DJ Durkin.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zach Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Is Perry Thompson getting overlooked? Who's the most important transfer? We get to that later in the show. But Auburn, Hugh Freeze, they hired DJ Durkin. Finally, a defensive coordinator has been named. And Charlie Five, I think this is an incredible hire. I think he is respected around the industry for his scheme, which is what we love so much about Ron Roberts a year ago. And he's been effective on the recruiting trail. There's a lot to like about the hire of DJ Durkin.
Absolutely. Look, Chris Kiffin was Hugh's number one guy. He's been that guy for 2 years now. He was the number one guy in last cycle. He was the number one guy this cycle. I honestly just trusted Hugh on that one. Okay. I honestly just trusted Hugh on that one. I looked at the possible NFL connection, the wealth of knowledge he has. They don't just hire bums in the NFL. He did. Right. He only had 1 year of play calling experience as a defensive coordinator. I just had to trust him on that one. Because that was his guy. I always wanted, when DJ Durkin's name surfaced, this is the guy I wanted. I was almost hoping that Chris Kiffin didn't work out, because everywhere this guy's been, he's improved defenses. He's kept people out of the end zone. If you look at all of his defenses, he's always in the top 4 or 5 in scoring defense in any conference he plays in. It does not matter. It does not matter. The worst year he ever had, he took over when Lane was hired at Ole Miss, and they were terrible, and he jumped them all the way from 14th to 8th in one season in scoring defense. This is a guy that he had a little bit of issues at Maryland, a tragedy at Maryland, but Nick Saban hired him as an analyst like within no time after he was fired at Alabama. He would have been Alabama's defensive coordinator had Nick Saban not retired. He was going to be hired by Alabama. He's courted by Missouri, courted by Mississippi State. He's been vetted throughout the whole SEC. He's very well respected, great recruiter. I'm ecstatic, as you can tell, that this ended up being the guy. What a plan B. What a plan B. And if you even want to call it a plan B. Yeah.
I mean, I guess we don't know what plan A and plan B was, but I mean, certainly DJ Durkin coming to Auburn as defensive coordinator. I love it. I love it. He's kind of coached several different position groups. So I'm hesitant to say this, but it does seem like the position group that could have the most impact is linebacker. Yes. And I just look at Eugene Asante coming back one more year until he gets a chance to kind of make a splash and enter the draft. And then couple that with this freshman class that Auburn just brought in at the linebacker. I mean, you could argue the winners of this hire is DeMarcus Riddick. I mean, huge. Just as far as coaching instinct and coaching, football IQ and everything that you need to do and to develop as a linebacker. Oh my goodness. You look at him, you look at DJ Barber, like there's a lot to get excited about with the future of these linebackers as well under DJ Durkin.
Absolutely. And from what I understand about DJ is he's a very hands-on position coach as well. So he's going to be in the middle of that linebacker room. Ron Roberts technically was. I think he kind of left it to Aldridge, which kind of made the edges sort of 50-50 between Aldridge and Jeremy Garrett. Right. Now, maybe this allows Aldridge to be a 100% pass rusher guy, which is massive because he's a blossoming up-and-coming coach. And for him to be able to work with DJ, they sort of have the same sort of mindset as far as linebacker guys. Those two team up, man, that is think about Josh Durkin versus, Josh Aldridge and Ron Roberts. I don't know. It just seems like a massive upgraded duo right there. I don't know, man. It seems like the perfect fit. You got their two DB coaches already. And DJ is naturally a linebacker guy and a play caller. So it's just And then you got Charles Kelly on the staff who's had play calling experience. Man, you just got a lot of – this is an all-star defensive staff. Absolutely, from top to bottom, you cannot find a weakness.
So now that the staff is done, finally, would you say all in all it's a better staff now than a year ago? Because I would say that it is.
Oh, easily. I think easily it's a better staff. You got a whole nother year of Jeremy Garrett, who's already got his defensive line class for 2025 almost locked down. A whole nother year of Josh Aldridge, Crime and Charles Kelly tag teaming it.
Insane, dude.
That know every inch of the state, every inch of the Southeast. And then you throw in DJ Durkin, who's one of the more respected play callers, defensive minds in the Southeast, definitely in the SEC. Man, it's just I don't know that it could be a better. It'd be hard to find a better staff, top to bottom, for recruiting the South.
Yes.
Experience, young. You got young experience. You got older experience. You got a little bit of everything, and it's just incredibly well-rounded. And you just feel like there's not one guy on that defensive staff that can't go into a house and land a kid, and then on top of that, develop that kid when he gets here. So it's man, I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
I am too, man. I am too.
Talk about a wild ride we've been on. We waited and waited and waited, and then this is what you quote unquote end up with is DJ Durkin, and then you still got a couple of days. You got the rest of the week to get out and recruit too before the end of the dead period starts. So he's got time to burn up the roads, and I imagine that's what he's going to be doing over the next 3 days.
Yeah, so we're excited about this hire. We'll jump into the rest of the content of today's show, which was recorded before this news. So if it's a little choppy, our apologies. But is Perry Thompson getting overlooked? We discuss next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Jace Medical. I know we all come to sports to escape some of the crazy realities of life, but with Jace Medical at jacemedical.com, you can sign up for the Jace case. The Jace case is a pack of 5 different antibiotics to treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, respiratory infections, skin infections, among other things. This stuff could happen to anybody, and you want to be prepared. jacemedical.com. Check them out and complete your physician encounter. It'll be reviewed by a board-certified physician, and your medications will be dispensed by a licensed pharmacy at a fraction of the regular cost. It's never been more important to be prepared than today. So go to jacemedical.com and use code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, for $20 off. It is at jacemedical.com. Perry Thompson, the standout wide receiver. He's an Auburn signee. He's being overlooked, not only outside of Auburn, but I think in rankings, he continues to fall down rankings as On3 put out their kind of their final list in the composite. They've got him at number 48. But also, it seems like Auburn fans very high on Bryce Cain. I'm 100% okay with that. But it's almost like Cam Coleman and then Bryce Cain, and they've kind of, I don't know, folks are hopping over Perry Thompson right now. And excuse me, Perry Thompson is 98th on On3. My bad. Right.
And a little bit of that is just that Perry Thompson's, a late enrollee. So I say late, he's a natural enrollee. He enrolls in the summer. So we've gotten a little bit of a preview of Cam Coleman. We've gotten a little bit of preview and some practice chatter from Bryce Cain. And then Perry played for a very bad high school football team. They were not very good. I don't think they made the playoffs. And so, he was asked to play a lot of different roles outside of just your traditional wide receiver. Played a little bit of running back, even threw some passes, play safety. He's just an unbelievable all-around athlete. Probably could be a NFL safety. So again, some of the rankings have come down. I think he's dropped out of that 5-star status. Still one of the highest rated players in our class. And but he's a do-it-all guy. He's going to be a do-it-all guy at Auburn. And I don't necessarily think that he's going to be one that's going to be behind the curve when he gets here in June or the end of May when he gets here, because physically he's already ready to play at this level. I mean, he's already over 200 pounds and 6'3". I mean, he's got NFL size already. So still, like, it's hard to imagine that that's the one you're kind of forgetting about, because we got so many dudes already enrolled and working out, and you still got Perry Thompson out there, and hey, even Malcolm Simmons as well coming in later too. So, but yeah, Perry Thompson does seem to be getting. If you just don't think about, I mean, he's easy to miss. He's easy to miss just because he's not in the headlines right now. So I cannot wait for that kid to get here.
Yeah, it's insane that this isn't the guy. I mean, in any other year, he'd be the headliner, right? But the fact that Cam Coleman, and then it's so easy to talk yourself into the excitement with Bryce Cain and Malcolm Simmons. It's just Malcolm Simmons is enrolling in the summer with Perry. So I think that's why the conversation around him is a little bit lower. I hate to do this, Charlie Five, but I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
If Perry Thompson had not flipped from Alabama,
I know what you're going to ask me.
Would he still be a 5-star?
Oh man, that's tough. I'm going to say no, and here's why I'm going to say no. Because Cam Coleman jumped all the way up to the number 3 player in the country. Walker White jumped over 100 spots in several rankings. There's a lot of players. I know DeMarcus Riddick is also another one that kind of dropped, which blows my mind. Probably because,
well, I think a similar thing, high school situation. He's played a lot of safety, and I don't know if he is a safety.
Yeah, exactly. But we've already gotten the rave reviews from him.
Not worried about him at all.
Screw his ranking. Who cares?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen a lot of guys we've gotten those bumps for, and so I think it's just a combination of maybe he didn't have just the most breakout. He was maybe a little bit overshadowed by Ryan Williams and a Cam Coleman at the Under Armour practices, even though he did have a couple of big catches in the game, a couple of first down conversions. And then playing on a very poor football team this year to not be able to put up those huge stats that a Cam Coleman or a Bryce Cain put up. Yeah. So I think those things kind of worked against him. And then the early enrollee thing did not hurt his ranking, but it just you combine all that and it can just kind of help make you sort of forget about him a little bit.
I'm with you. I saw some Auburn folks saying like, oh man, if he had, if he was still at Alabama, he'd be a 5-star. I'm with you. I think his rating would be about the same. It might be a little higher if you subscribe to that. The Bama bump, I think, is what people call it. And I think there are some instances where that would make sense. But to me, you look at what he did in his all-star practices, and our Brian Smith was down there, recruiting insider. He was down there and he was impressed with what he saw.
Sure.
He thinks Perry's in that same tier as his other guys. He thinks Cam Coleman is in his own tier. So disregard Cam Coleman, but then Perry was in that top tier of wide receivers, which is all you need. And couple that with Cam, with Bryce Cain, with Malcolm Simmons all coming in, you feel great about it. Let's do a few scenarios if you don't mind.
Okay.
5.
Hit it.
As far as instant impact, who has a larger impact in Auburn's receiving game next year? Perry Thompson or Bryce Cain?
That's tough. That's a tough one. I think that Bryce Cain's probably going to have more receptions if he were to get, because of the position he's going to play. Golly, that's tough. I mean, you have Cam on one side. Who's going to play the other outside receiver? So, I mean, it could
my
be.
My guess is Robert Lewis.
Yeah, but
the transfer from Georgia State. That's my guess.
Yeah, so you're going to have to beat out a senior or rotate some time with Cam, because that dude's starting. Cam's starting. So I would say that Perry probably has a chance to score more touchdowns, but Bryce probably has a chance to be more of a maybe more of a staple, in the offense, more of a go-to guy. And then Perry could be more of a big play speed sweep, big play type guy that could, maybe score more touchdowns. So it's kind of which one do you value more, I guess. I think Bryce is going to be more of a consistent, has a chance to be more of a consistent part of the offense, whereas Perry could be a change-up guy early that can go get a 50-50 ball, can run a speed sweep. So maybe I don't want to say gadget guy, but can be sort of a dude like that that could score touchdowns.
Does Perry Thompson have a larger role in the offense than Camden Brown does in 24?
Yes. I think that I would not. I'm not going to be totally shocked if Camden Brown's not even on the roster.
I'm surprised he didn't. I mean,
I would have thought he would already been gone, but
I'm with you.
I would say yes. And if anything, this is your put up or shut up type time for Cam. You got to make it happen because you got dudes like this coming in.
Yeah, I mean, you could have said that last year too, but this is a huge spring for Camden Brown for sure. So just looking at outside type receivers, you got Cam Brown. We said Robert Lewis. I think Robert Lewis starts game 1 at outside receiver. We'll see. Coy Moore. I think he graduates in the spring, so kind of curious to see what he does. Is that what you're hearing with him too?
Yeah. Okay. He's a iffy 50-50 type thing.
JFR slot, Sam Jackson the 5th. I'm assuming slot. Caleb Burton played outside in the bowl game.
He did. I could be wrong, but I think I hope Cam Coleman could be a barometer that these guys are going to go test themselves against. You know what I mean? Because if Cam's this, then Perry's probably not too far behind. So if I'm way behind, if I'm way behind Cam already, then they're definitely going to play Perry ahead of me. So I think that's a good, if you feel like you can hang with Cam, you might can see the field. If he's blowing you out of the water, they're going to give Perry every opportunity to play when he gets here.
Yeah. I'm just thinking okay, which of these upperclassmen do I think can hang with a true freshman Cam Coleman?
I don't know many in the.
I don't know, dude.
I really don't know. But it's not just Auburn. It's not just Auburn. I don't know
Cam Coleman is different. And I know Auburn fans are excited for Cam Coleman, but I don't think the average Auburn fan realizes we've never had someone like this.
No, we've never had. It's the closest.
Different.
Duke Williams might have been the closest as far as just sheer talent, but even Duke Cam would dust him in a he's like Duke, but he can still run a 4.4, 4.5. You know what I mean? So Duke couldn't take one to the house, a slant to the house. He even saw the one time he got a chance in Arkansas. He got hawked down from behind, but Cam could take one from the house and he could moss on top of your head as well, just like Duke did. So but he's way more talented than Duke Williams.
Yeah. So we'll see. We will see. But Perry Thompson. Don't overlook Perry Thompson despite him not being here this spring. What if Charles Kelly, who's been named co-DC, actually becomes the DC? Is that out of the question? We discuss in just a moment, right here on Locked on Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at FanDuel Charlie 5. Can you imagine wagering anywhere else?
I cannot. I think that would be
foolish. Either, man. I can't either. And look, it's Super Bowl time. It's
over
Super Bowl
under
time.
Star Spangled Banner. Let's go.
Let's go. Taylor Swift should sing it. I mean, let's just go all in.
What color Gatorade is going to be there at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to cry at the acceptance speech? I love it. I love it.
Yep. Coin toss results. You got to go tails. You can bet all of these fun props over at FanDuel Sportsbook. And right now, new customers, you can join today. You'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NFL and the Locked On Podcast Network. Charlie 5, can you imagine buying Auburn gear anywhere else?
I won't do it. I won't even think about it.
Nope. Got a comment about my hat the other day.
You
know where I bought it from?
Hit it.
Alumni Hall.
Of course. Without
Alumni
a doubt.
Hall. 3 incredible physical locations at Auburn, in Opelika, and Huntsville, Hunts Vegas, if that's what you want to call it. And you also can visit them online. I've never met somebody who doesn't call it Hunts Vegas.
I might punch someone if they call it just regular old Huntsville.
He doesn't mean that. And so, yeah, if you don't live in Hunts Vegas or Auburn or Opelika and you're like, it's too far, I just can't make it to Hunts Vegas today. I don't have it in my soul. You can go to alumnihall.com. All their stuff officially licensed.
24/7.
There was a silver sticker on here that was officially licensed, and I took it off. Some people leave them on. I used to do that, and then people told me I needed to take the sticker off, so I do it now. I just take the sticker off. You just got to trust me that it's legit. Go to alumnihall.com. Already there are 3 great locations at Auburn, Opelika, and Hunts Vegas. Charlie 5 joining us. I believe the most important transfer that joined the Auburn roster was Percy Lewis, the former Mississippi State standout offensive tackle. I think adding him allows you to get better at 2 spots on the offensive line, and also just talking with Jason Jones last week, very impressed with Percy Lewis, which is a great thing. Great thing. He is every bit of the size that he says he is, and apparently gets after it in the weight room. The effort is there. He's coming in and wanting to be a leader, which I love, especially at the left tackle position. So Percy Lewis coming in, I think he's going to start at left tackle, allows you to scoot Dylan Wade inside. I think it's crucial. I think adding just him transforms the entire offensive line.
Without a doubt, you got better at possibly, you got better at multiple positions on the offensive line. Possibly, you got to not definitely 2, maybe even 3. So maybe whoever was going to play left guard can slide over to right guard now. And I mean, you may have gotten better at 3 different spots. I love it. I love that he's already here working. I think he probably needed to shape his body a little bit. He's a very big boy. So
massive.
We needed that type of NFL prototype size left tackle, and not that Dylan Wade was not adequate, because he definitely was, but that's going to be his position in the NFL, is going to be on the interior. Right. So it's huge for him from a career standpoint. It's big in so many different ways. So that's a great one. I really like Percy Lewis, and I hope he has a great spring and stays healthy and just continues the leadership, continues to get after it.
You have a different name, though.
Yeah, and this was definitely 100% the first name that popped to my mind. Has nothing to do with the fact that you picked Percy Lewis. Is Jaron Thompson. We needed the
safety from Texas.
The safety from Texas. We needed a veteran safety in this room so incredibly bad. You have a ton of really young talent. A ton, okay? And you got a ton coming in. You got a very talented recruiting class, secondary guys. You had a talented freshman class come in, but you did not have the guy that has multiple starts, that has experience against older, like seasoned SEC college players. And you add a guy that's got tons of starts, played in probably 30 plus football games, 40 plus football games in his career. 3 interceptions last year, big interception against Alabama. Just not somebody that's going to just wow you with his physicality and just physical athletic tools, but somebody that's just been there. He's just been there. He knows how to practice. He knows how to play. He knows how to read defenses. And that puts a veteran back there with all these young dudes at corner, at not nickel, but all these young guys at corner, and opposite him in safety. You're going to have somebody, a new face there. So I think it's absolutely huge. I think that was our biggest need, to be honest. A guy that could play a veteran safety.
Yeah. I think
on defense
they play differently, but you kind of giving that description made me think of Daniel Thomas at safety during his time.
A 6-foot Daniel Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah. They play differently. They're different players, but as far as impact, experience, steady, I don't think he's Jalen Simpson, but I don't think he's bad, right? Like I think he's a solid starting caliber SEC safety, like Daniel Thomas was. And then, Daniel Thomas, is he still in the league? Like I know he was off to a strong start with Jacksonville. So
Simpson, honestly, I think he could be a very comparable player to Jalen Simpson.
I don't think he's as rangy as Simpson. but I think he could get.
I think what he's going to
offer more run support than Simpson.
I think what he'll make up with what he'll lack in range or athletic ability, he'll make up with inexperience. It's just a whole. He's going to be his fifth year, and again, he's played a ton of football for Texas in leagues that throw the ball all over the place. So I don't know. I really I'm very, very excited about this kid and what he, just being back there, that field general with all these young dudes and Keontae Scott. That's those two guys as veterans on that defensive back staff or defensive back room. That makes me feel very, very, very confident.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
Yeah. I still can't wait to see where they put Keontae. Like, is he really going to be outside corner?
Yeah.
I don't know.
At the end of the day, that guy is going to, I honestly think that he'll probably want to move inside eventually. Like he just can't, you can't get him away from the ball. Like you cannot, and I don't think he wants to be away from the ball either. When you're just out there by yourself on an island versus you're in the box, you're in the mix, you got blitz packages, you got your run support, everything. Like that's just who he is.
I wonder how that happened. I can't. Why did was that his idea?
Well, I think it's a little bit of
staff.
I think it's a little bit of necessity. Number one, we didn't have Antonio Kite
sure.
at that point in time. And maybe you need a veteran, you want a veteran guy on the outside. And he also, I'm sure, look, you can't help but look at the draft and look at how those rookie contracts work and see the dollar signs go towards the corners on the outside. So, hey, if it's my last year, if I can be a good return specialist and I can have a good year at outside corner, surely I can help myself, in the draft. But man, his highlight reel,
though, man, the fact that you've got options is like, okay, worst case, like, he's a corner, or worst case, depending on how you look at it, or worst case, he goes back to nickel. Like those are two very solid options. His
highlight film for at nickel it's got to be so good. It's got to be really good.
I mean, we talk about being rangy. It's just. I just feel like that ability to cover ground is wasted on the outside.
Sure.
But we'll see.
I'm with you too. I'm with you too.
But still, I mean, I think he could be great, especially if they run a lot of bump and run stuff, whether it's Charles Kelly's defense or whoever. That'd be huge with Canley on the other side. So we'll see. Charlie 5, how can people check out everything that you've got going on?
Absolutely. Find me on Twitter at @the_Charlie_5 in the Locked On Auburn Discord every single day. The auburnlive.com, the corner message board, or Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Top Button podcast. Hey, today's my birthday, so tell me happy birthday.
Today's your birthday?
Yeah. Wait, Tuesday.
Like Tuesday. Got it.
Yeah. When you're listening to this, it's my birthday.
Wow.
I had to
led with that. We should have led with that.
We needed a Boog bounce back week, so why not have a birthday for the Boog bounce back?
I love that. Happy birthday, buddy. You're the best.
Thank you, buddy.
Find all my written work at auburndaily.com, and we will see you tomorrow. This has been Locked On Auburn.